Okay, thanks Mahesh. Yep. So now let's set some agenda for this session, guys, and then we'll actually move on, right? So first, let's go with the class pattern. So how the class is going to be, and how much time daily we'll be taking classes and all. We'll see the class pattern, how it goes, and then we'll actually see the complete course content, right? I'll give you a complete overview of what exactly you're going to learn here, right? And then if you have any question and answers, I'll take it. Fine. So let's stick to this agenda for today, guys. And I want you guys to feel comfortable. If you have any questions at any point, please stop me. I'll be happy to answer you guys, right? At any point of time. Fine. Okay. So let's start with the first agenda item, guys, which is class pattern. So every day it will be minimum of 1 hour class, right? We'll be having, right, and we'll have at the same time, or it will be just will actually be posted so that it will be useful for you guys as the daylight saving is also going to start. We'll actually have a discussion, but it will be daily 1 hour, and when it's a daily, right, it will be 7 days a week again. All 7 days we'll have a class, including Sundays actually. That's how we normally do. And if there are any constraints on Sunday for most of us, right, then we can actually take a call. That's not a problem. But I do normally take all 7 days, right, class, so that everyone will be in the same page, And every class, most of the times, right, will be actually doing practical execution, right? So whatever we were learning, the concepts, right, I'm going to show you each and every class with some code and execution, with some use cases and execution, right? We'll not just stop anything at theory itself. We're going to see the practical. That's why most of the classes you can see, right, most of them will be practicals. Anyways, theory will be the background, pace will be running, and we'll be actually doing the practical programming here. That's my most of the classes will be. And anyways, initial classes like understanding of .NET frameworks and all will be theory, because we have to understand how framework works, how it is different from others, right? How it works with different platforms and all, right? But then once we start, we'll be taking up all. And don't worry. And coming to the softwares and all, right? I'll guide you. Don't worry. Even if you don't know which software to use, right, which one to install, don't worry about anything. I'm gonna guide you everything step by step. Just follow the links which I'm providing to download and install, and just follow the classes how to create new programs and all, right? And then you'll be actually able to go ahead. Don't worry to search and where to get software, and I'll give you links and everything. Don't worry about it, right? So it's both for .NET, which is Visual Studio, and SQL Server. I'll help you out, okay? Because as part of our course, right, we are going to learn SQL Server also, right? I'll give you at what point we are going to touch the SQL Server, and at what point do we need to install SQL Server and start learning, right? I'll give you the point. Don't worry. Right, and then each and every class will be recorded, right? So this is a very good thing we have about the classes, right? So whatever you can see, whatever you can hear, whatever we discuss, right, everything will be recorded. Whatever you can see in screen and whatever you're hearing now, right, everything will be recorded. Both audio and video will be recorded, right? And as soon as the class is done, I'll be sharing with you guys, right? So that, right, if you want to go back and check, you will have at the end of training, you will have the complete training videos with you, right? I'll be sharing through Dropbox, right? I'll actually send the request right away. So whoever actually we have in the list of right email, right, which you have got, I'll use the same email IDs, guys. I hope that will be fine for all. Whatever email ID you have shared with us, right, I'll use the same email ID, and I'll share the recording, even the class which is going on now, which is the demo class, right? Or the initial class is getting recorded. So I'll be sharing this recording too as soon as this session is done with you guys, right? So this is how the class is going to be, right? Every day recording. But I would suggest you guys to not to completely depend on recordings, right? Please do attend. I mean, if it is a class or if one or two classes are missing, yep, you can always go back and actually check your recording to just be in same page before you come back to the next class. Yeah, that is always there, not a problem at all. Fine. So so I'll be sharing it through Dropbox. That's what I said. Perfect. And then, so this is something which is going to be our regular class format, guys. Right. So whenever there is any gap, or if you have any questions at any point, and also if you want me to repeat any class, please do let me know. I'll be very happy to repeat. Right. I have no issues. And anyways, because of these recordings, right, you normally PhD students will not get that chance unless you are not clear even with the recording. I mean, whatever concept is actually explained, that if you go through one or two times, that will be more than enough actually for you guys. But even then, if you don't have, but definitely please do ask me. Right, I'm here to help you guys. Right. So this is how the class pattern will be. So any questions in this, guys? So I hope you guys are comfortable with whatever class pattern we are just going on, right? So this is something which I've actually derived from my past experience, and this is something which is going to help students. And one more thing, that right, for every module we're actually going to learn, or every concept, or I would say every phase we're gonna learn as part of the .NET course, right? We are going to do assignments, and these assignments are mandatory, guys. Right? Now, when I say mandatory, this is completely for your benefit, right? If you are able to do these assignments, right, so you will get confidence by yourself that yes, I mean, out of this training that you will be learning a lot of things actually, right? And these assignments will actually give you confidence. So these assignments are mandatory for everyone, right? And I'll let you know whenever there is an assignment based on some topics, right? Based on most of the topics, you will be doing more and more assignments. I'll kind of let you guys know so that you can start execution. Right? So we'll be like training and assignments will go in parallel, right? So that you'll be doing assignments, the training will be going on. So which means your learning will be in progress. There will not be like after the training you'll be starting the learning. It will not be like that, right? So this will definitely help in actually getting the concept done and there, but instead of actually waiting till the training is done and refreshing back these in videos, right? So this will be the class pattern, guys, where we're gonna follow the same pattern across. Any questions till now, guys? Perfect. Good. So I hope this pattern is good with all, right? This is going to help. Yeah. So now let's go to the next part, which is course content. So now this is the main part of our current session, right? Now, so as part of course content, right, I have actually divided the complete course into 3 phases mainly, based on the understanding, based on the way we have to start and all, right? So this course, all the contents of this course, right, I do regularly update it based on the technology updates happening, because I am actually training from past more than 5.5, like it's almost been 6 years that I have been in training, and definitely there are so many .NET versions which actually got into market, and there are so many upgraded features and new technologies came up in .NET. and I do make sure that the course contents are updated with respect to the latest technology. So don't worry, we're going to learn the latest framework and the latest features we have as part of a .NET technology, which comes under one of these three phases. Fine. Now that is something which is a basic criteria which I do follow as part of a course content. So course content normally I know I do upgrade every 4 to 6 months, because yeah, that's where the every .NET new .NET framework enters into market with all the release notes and everything. What is this .NET framework and all? Don't worry guys, don't worry if you don't understand any term or any terminology. We're going to learn each and every term I'm actually phrasing now, so not to worry. Now, as part of phase one, now phase one is like a baby phase, right? Where we're going to start with .NET introduction, mainly, right? First, we'll see the .NET introduction, market strategies, what are different technologies, counterparty technologies we have for .NET, right? How it is compatible with multiple platforms, right? When we talk about compatibility, what exactly is the compatibility of platforms, right? And how it is different from other technologies being working on different platforms and all, we'll see it here. Right? And then we're going to touch base some of the important components of .NET framework, right? So FX is a general IT terminology we normally use for framework, right? Which is .NET FX, which is a .NET framework. So we're going to touch base on internals of .NET framework. So once we understand what is framework and everything, then we'll understand what are the internals of framework which will be used to achieve the programming, the execution and the running of application which is developed on .NET. That is something which comes under your .NET FX, which is a part of .NET framework. So once we are done with the intro and effects, right, now we'll get a decent idea on okay, which technology we are using and are we on a right track when compared to other technologies too, right? So that's how now these two are designed, right? And then we're going to start with our first topic called C#.NET. Now this is something where we're going to actually start the practicals, right? Now, so when I say C#.NET, right, now this is not a separate technology we are learning, where we're going to learn all the fundamentals of .NET using C# language. That's why we normally call it the C#.NET. So C# is something which conveys the language we're going to use to right in this type of projects, right? So using C#, we're going to learn the complete set of fundamentals, right? Or we can say that the base pillars of .NET, right? We're going to learn as part of the C#.NET, right? So from a small data type, right, to collections, to multi-threading, to file handlings, to exception handlings, to arrays, to collections. So we're going to see each and every topic, right, under C#.NET. So with this, right, the phase one will be concluded. Once the phase one is done, you will be able to write a simple logic using the C#.NET, right? So that is the main intention of phase one. Phase one is all about getting strong and fundamentals mainly, because once you are strong in ground fundamentals, right, then you can actually go ahead with the higher advanced topics. That's why I'm saying that phase one is something which is very important and very critical, and we're going to spend almost good amount of time here, right? I'll be going in a same pace. Will not do anything in hurry or urgency, right? We're gonna go and we'll make sure that everyone are on the same page with respect to the fundamentals, right? So here, once the C#.NET is going on, we're gonna do one assignment here. I'm gonna share one assignment to you guys, right? So which will cover the topics of C#, mainly the C#.NET, and you can start off executing them. Right. Now this is the phase one. Now once phase 1 is done, then we will have at least a knowledge on how to use Visual Studio, how to use the software, how to execute a program, right? How to write a simple logic using different technical classes we have. What is the difference? The different classes we have, right? What is the difference between namespace, class, right? Across classes. What is a class? What is an object? What is object-oriented programming system? What is inheritance? What is abstraction? All these things are the fundamentals which we are going to learn, right? Everything as part of C#. So now, once we are good with the phase 1, we're going to move to phase 2. Phase 2 is all about the DB, database interactions, or I would say the database communications. Very important one, right? So now, see, once you know, you'll actually understand why it is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? Why can't we have a sequence of topics and go and directly learn? Because when we talk about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right, you guys will have something in your mind that if you're not clear with phase 1, then there is no meaning in actually going directly and starting phase 2, like when you're actually reverting and learning. So that's why it's all interdependent. Once you're good with phase 1, you will understand what exactly we are doing in phase 2. Once you are good with phase 1 and phase 2 only, then only you can understand whatever we're going to take up and advanced topics in phase 3. That's important. There is interdependency between each phase. We can't directly move to phase 3 or phase 2. We have to start with phase 1, get good grip on it, and then move to phase 2. Now, as part of phase 2, we're going to see the DB communications, right? Now, as part of DB communication, definitely we have to know one database at least, right? So, as most of us are like starting from scratch, learning the technologies and all, definitely some of us, I'm not saying all of us, some of us may not know what exactly is database, right? And why do we use database stuff and all. So for that reason, we're going to learn SQL Server. When it's a SQL Server, it's not like complete SQL Server. The SQL Server complete training is again the parallel training of 4 to 5 weeks we normally do. But here we're going to learn all the fundamentals and the main object schemas of SQL Server. And we're going to touch base on SQL Server 2014, right? And we'll see different main DB objects which are required, right? So that we can start writing program in .NET to start communicating the database. So till that point here, we're going to learn and we're going to see as part of a SQL Server lesson. So once we are good with SQL Server, learning of mainly how it actually works and how best we can actually use it, right, and all, right. So then now it is time to actually move on and see how to apply and how to do the actual communication in using Visual Studio or using .NET mainly. So here we are going to start with our first topic mainly. See, anyway, SQL Server is something which is a separate technology we are learning, right? But now coming back again to .NET, the first topic is ADO.NET, which is Active Data Objects APIs in .NET. We're going to start with. Now, ADO.NET is the technology which is there from the start of a .NET, right? Which is basically used to do database communications. So we're going to see ADO.NET. We're going to learn each and every class of ADO.NET which is used to do a successful DB communication, and we're going to see what is the best practice and how best we should always write a program in order to achieve a good good DB communication stuff and all. That we're going to see as part of our ADO.NET, right? But anyways, in current market, right, not many clients or not many companies are using the ADO.NET because there are powerful frameworks we have in market, and one of the very important framework and mostly used framework is Entity Framework. So this is the one which is mainly used for DB communications, which is a recommended framework by Microsoft to actually do DB communications of all sort right here. Now, if you know that we have to learn NLT framework, but then why are we wasting time in ADO.NET? That you may have that point, yeah, it is not wrong. See, any framework again uses internally ADO components only, right? So again, even if most of the people are not using ADO.NET, right? But again, I've kept this in quotes because see, if you're good with ADO.NET, again, if you're good with the fundamentals or the base components of your ADO, then understanding the frameworks is not a big deal at all. Yes, anyways, we are going to learn the framework. This is mandatory because without this, we are not going to go to phase 3. And we are going to use only NLT framework while applying because we're going to see the integrations, right? I'm going to show you NLT framework, how to integrate and all. But yes, we're going to learn including ADO.NET because you will get all the internals of how the ground level DB communication happens, right? And then definitely you don't have to worry about NLT framework. It will be a cakewalk again, and you don't have to worry or do anything at ground level as we are doing in ADO.NET. Now with that, with the NLT framework, we'll understand how frameworks are basically used to do communications, DB communications, which are with a complete class model objects, right? So that we're going to touch base in NLT framework, and we're going to touch base on all the operations which you can perform in NLT framework. But so when we talk about NLT framework without LINQ, right, which is language integrated query, one of the very important concepts again, which is I would say LINQ is not there from core of .NET. It is the latest technology which we got from 3.5 framework, and we have it in our course too, which is a very rich technology we have, very rich feature which provides, and the combination of NLT framework and LINQ is going to be a powerful tool to do DB communications. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with ADO.NET, complete ADO.NET, and then I'm going to start with Entity Framework. And in Entity Framework, what we're going to do, we're going to see the Entity Framework basics and everything. And before going to advanced, we're going to learn LINQ, and then we're going to see integration of both, so that we are learning LINQ and Entity Framework advanced topics in integration. Because when you actually integrate, when you write programs with LINQ on Entity Framework, it is going to be a very powerful tool for DMS. That we're going to do. Now this will give us a good understanding on DB communications mainly. Now here again we have some assignments created. Now as soon as you are done with SQL Server, right, we're going to do one assignment to create how to create a database, how to create a table, how to create different objects kind of. We're going to do one assignment, and here as soon as we are done with Entity Framework mainly, because this is something out of my interest, I'm actually getting it. But anyways, we're going to go in depth of all. But during NLT Framework and LINQ, we are gonna do one assignment. This is kind of a very good assignment. If you're able to do this assignment, right, you'll be good with almost learning of SQL Server, NLT Framework and LINQ all together. Which means you will be getting a good grip on phase 1 and phase 2. Basic stuff I can see with this assignment actually. So this is the third assignment we're gonna do, which is our NLT Framework. The first was C# fundamentals one, the complete picture of this. Second, the DB designs one, where you're going to design the database, you're going to design the tables and everything, whatever you're gonna learn, and then how to apply them. And this contains its own separate DB tables and everything. Don't worry. I'm going to explain you the assignment before we start. Don't worry. Right? Now this is your phase 2, where you know how to do DB communication. Now you can see with the phase 1 and phase 2, you know how to write logic, and you know how to store data and play around. Which means you are now with this phase 1 and phase 2, you will be equipped with, right, the logic writings and data communication part. Now we are good to go with the phase 3. Now phase 3, as we are in a training to learn the web technologies, right? So this is completely your web development phase. So as part of phase 3, what we're going to do, we're going to learn the internet technology first. So we're going to understand how internet works, and in complete this internet hub technology side, where exactly we are when we say I'm a web developer, right? we should understand our placement. We should understand where exactly we are actually starting off, and out of our area, what are the different different arenas we have in the internet world. That we have to understand. All the terminologies like your IP port, what is your domain, what is IP, what is static, what is dynamic IPs, what is a hub, what is router, what is the difference between internet and intranets, right? How hubs of intranets are interconnected. All these terminologies mainly, right, we can understand by through something called internet technology. So here we want to start with internet technology. Anyways, here we are not going to start anything in web, but we are going to understand where exactly we are, right? For learning a web technology. That is something which is we are going to learn here, right? And then once we are good with this, we are going to start with something called ASP.NET, right? The first web technology we are going to start with is our ASP.NET, right? Which is your active server pages.net. See, wherever you see this ADO.NET or C#.NET or ASP.NET, right? They are not separate things in .NET. Everything is one. But why do we call ASP or ADO? Whenever anyone says ADO.NET, which means in .NET, right? He is referring to ADO libraries. .NET framework is combination of many libraries. Among them, when we say ADO.NET, which means we are referring to these specific libraries in .NET. Similarly, when we say ASP.NET, which means we are referring to these specific libraries. ASP is nothing but your web technology library in .NET we are using. That's why we are calling ASP.NET. There is no big reason behind ASP.NET or C#.NET anything, right? It's a bit simple, and yes, it is. Sorry. Now it is something which we are going to use for us. Fine. Now here we are going to start with ASP.NET, and we're going to see the complete creation of web development mainly, right? What are the different concepts you have in ASP.NET, like creation of pages, creation of navigation techniques, creation of session state, application state, caching, right? What is as part of ASP.NET itself, we're gonna learn Ajax, right? How to actually create Ajax out of ASP.NET pages. How different, how Ajax gives us a rich feature when we are using this. When we are actually using pages development, right? All these things here we're gonna see, right? And we're going to apply them as part of this, right? Now, once you're good with ASP.NET, right? We know how to do web development, how to create a pages, how to deploy, how to make it live, how to actually use the technology to do other stuff. Now here, once you're good with this, then we are going to go to the advanced technology in web, which is MVC. Very important, and in market most of the players are using. Yeah, I mean most of them are also using ASP.NET. I'm not saying no, but yes, ASP.NET is something which is picking up in market, right? So we are going to concentrate again on ASP.NET too. Fine, and then we are going to actually see MVC, how it actually works, which is a model view controller part, right? Which is again a web development we want to see. So this completes our web development, and then we are going to go to the service development, which is your WCF. So before WCF, we're going to learn one more stuff called one of the web server called IIS. Anyways, we're going to understand the different terminologies as part of IIS technology, and we're going to see, okay, when we're talking about web server, right, which is IIS, which is the Internet Information Services, right? What exactly, how to deploy, how to make a website live, right? What are different important things we have to keep it in mind when we are actually doing admin part of IIS, which is IIS admin kind of, right? All these stuff, yes, we're gonna see as part of our web server IIS, and then we're gonna start with WCF, very important Windows Communication Foundation, where we're gonna see the service development, both SOAP services and RESTful services, right? So we're going to study both SOAP services and RESTful services development, and we're going to see the integration. So we're going to see so many integrations here, right? So now here till the WCF, I mean the complete course is done. Now here when we are learning MVC, I'm going to show you how to integrate your entity framework with MVC. Now definitely, right, when you are developing any web application, you will look forward to integrate to your database, do some communication, show it on page, from page edit something, make sure it is saved in database. I mean there are so many things you want to see. We're going to see that part to MVC to link. And again to WCF, which is service to entity framework, we're going to see, right? Service to entity framework we're going to see, right? Which means when we actually draw the picture, which means a WCF to entity framework we're going to see. Entity framework to database, anyways we're going to see. Because without database interfacing, without DB design, there is nothing that we can do with entity framework, which means we're going to see the DB integration and WCF to entity framework integration. And while learning WCF, we'll also see integration with one of the UI. So when I say UI, it can be one of the web or Windows. So let's say I'm going to say it UI, which is user interface. Now user interface to WCF, WCF to entity framework to DB. Now this is called as your complete SOA design, which is your service-oriented architecture design. Now which contains multiple permutation and combination of integrations we're going to learn here. First we're going to learn like UI to entity framework, right? That's what we understood. Not even entity framework. First we started with the UI to DB. If you understand the ADO.NET, ADO.NET doesn't have any frameworks now, right? Here what we are doing, we are directly writing a code to talk to .NET, which means you have seen UI to DB. And then when we understood entity framework, then what we are doing, we are learning entity framework to DB and UI to entity framework. One more integration, right? So without unknowingly, we are actually learning multiple combinations of integrations here. And then as soon as we start with MVC again, integration again UI to entity framework to DB. That's what we are learning. And then when we are in WCF, we are going to learn WCF to entity framework and also UI to WCF. And when we combine all, we are going to get one very good architecture called SOA architecture. So end of the training, we are going to do, every one of us will be doing one end-to-end SOA. There is an assignment here. Anyways, we're coming to assignments, right? You have assignment to do a ASP.NET one, and you have one assignment to do the MVC assignment, and then we have one big assignment called SOA, where we are going to design the complete end-to-end DB entity framework. We are going to create a service, and then we are going to integrate with one of the UI, maybe let's say MVC, right? You can take anything. When I say UI, which is user interface, you can take MVC or a simple console application or anything, and we are going to design. Now this is the exit criteria of our training. Once everyone are done with SOA, that's it. The training ends here. Now this is a complete picture of training which we're going to see, and once we are done, we are going to learn two things which is very important, which comes with anyways, this comes with experience. But yes, I'm going to explain the design patterns. Design patterns we have in .NET and architectural principles. Right, very important. This is something definitely, if you're actually principles, if you're actually going with experience, right? Definitely people will be looking for good design and architectural principles we have. See, anyone can code, but the coding who is actually doing the optimized way of coding and the best performance coding, right? That is something which will always be considered, right? For that, yes, you should understand what are the different stuffs we have which can help to code, right? Now this is a complete course content which you're going to see, guys, and the complete phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Sorry, which you're going to touch to complete the course. So this is about the course content we have for our complete end-to-end training. So I'm kind of done with the two things, guys. So let's go to the next part, which is Q&A. So any questions or any part of stuff we have actually understood today, guys? You can unmute yourself now. We are almost done with this. So I would like to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the complete pattern and course content? Are you guys comfortable? Anything that you guys want to add or anything?